I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I didn't get to be this size on accident. I love stuff that's bad for me, man. I also like the good stuff too, which is why last month we talked about video game comfort food. This month though, we're switching things up a little bit. We are looking at video game junk food. Stuff that you know is just schlock, just garbage, just the lowest of lowest common denominators, but we still love them anyway. These are the Twinkies of the video game universe, and we're talking about them today. Yeah, this is the first thing I think of when I think of video game junk food. It is Lollipop Chainsaw, and while I love so much about this game, I actually think the gameplay loop is really solid. I think the graphics are good. I think the soundtrack is wonderful. Voice acting is fantastic. It was written by James Gunn. It is, at its core, an exploitation grindhouse film. It is by far junk food. 100% schlock, 100% junk, and 100% delicious in every single way. It's fast-paced, it's fun, it's gory, it's bloody, it's over-the-top, it's hyper-violent, it's excellent. All the characters in the game are memorable. Everything in the game is just dumb. Like, it's a dumb concept at the end of the day. There's cheerleaders fighting off a demonic or zombie invasion. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go with it. But at the end of the day, the game is an absolute blast to play. It's something I still have fun with to this day. I want to get Repop, the re-release that came out a couple of months ago, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. If you've played it, let me know. Is it worth picking up? Yeah, this one's going to piss some people off, but I call Pokémon Yellow, and really any of the first couple of generations of Pokémon junk food, because they really are kind of Diet Coke RPGs, right? They're not overly challenging RPGs. They're not deep RPGs. They're kind of Fisher-Price's My First JRPG is really what they are, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I know a lot of people that have gotten into heavy RPG gaming because of the early Pokemon games, and I think that's something that should be commended. But when you take the very rose-colored glasses off of everyone's love affair with that first couple generations of Pokemon, and you look at the games, there's not much there. There's really not. There's the monsters, there's the kind of paper, rock, scissors of what is stronger than the other thing, but at the end of the day, that's all there really is to it. Now, that's not to say the games aren't great. They're still a lot of fun. I mean, they're grindy as all hell, but they're still fun, and they're still memorable. Like, we still have that fond memory of all of those characters and the different gym leaders and your rival and stuff like that, but the games are about as deep as a puddle, and that's okay. This one's a bit of an interesting addition because I really do think that this is a game that had a lot of promise. This is Gotham Knights, and I enjoy it. I actually have some pretty good fun with this title, but it is decidedly not nearly as advanced or as ambitious as the original Arkham games, and I think we can all agree with that and all understand that, which is why I'm saying it's junk food, because it's giving you that kind of adrenaline hit that you're going to receive from an Arkham game, but not necessarily giving you kind of that deep, complex storyline or anything like that. It's just a repetition of missions and things like that, and as fun as that can be, and it's nice to kind of shut your mind off and not have to worry about things, knowing it's an Arkham game and knowing it's from that same team and in that same franchise, I'm kind of drawn to want to know more and to want to experience more. And while I still do enjoy this title, it doesn't really scratch the itch I need it to, so it's good for just kind of shutting my brain off for like a half hour or an hour to play a game, beat the crap out of some bad guys, and go about my business. But if I really want to sit down for something that's got some really in-depth superhero action, I'm going to play something like Origins or Arkham City. You know, it took me years to actually play PowerWash Simulator, despite people telling me that it was a solid title. I was not sold. I was unconvinced that a game about power washing something could be fun, and when I finally did play it, it became one of the biggest addictions I've had in gaming in a long, long time. But at the end of the day, it is a nothing game. You're cleaning. That's all you're doing. You're taking dirt away and spraying it with a hose. That's really all there is to it. It's not a whole lot to the game. But God, does it work. It is so much fun. And it's one of those games that, while I'm calling it junk food, it's one of those games that's kind of like a Zen experience for me, because I can just kind of turn my brain off and go and know that I only have one accomplishment that I have to reach. And it's not something that's going to tax my brain overtly, like a really aggressive first-person shooter or an RPG with a heavy storyline. I'm just going into this town that's disgusting, and I'm cleaning it up. Love that kind of game. Love the ability to just kind of shut things down, go in, have a good time, and shut it off. It's a fantastic title. I'm putting Taz-Mania from the SNES on here because I love this game because, I mean, I do like a lot of licensed titles. I mean, I don't think anyone's surprised by that, but there's nothing to this game. It's an auto runner. You move forward. Well, it's not really an auto runner. It's just a forward runner, really. You move forward, you're catching birds, you're avoiding obstacles. That's all there is to it. And while there's not much to this game, and it is like aggressively simplistic in what it does, I really think that there's a fun challenge in play here because they get creative with kind of the layout of the levels and the layout of the tracks and things like that you're running on to try and catch the birds and avoid the obstacles. So it can be a little bit frustrating at times, but the fun factor there really makes this feel like just a sugar rush because it's fast-paced, it's action-oriented, it's a good time, and it's a little bit silly, right? Like, it's not something that's trying to take itself too seriously by being like a hardcore Taz simulator, I guess, for lack of a better term. I guess it is kind of a Taz simulator now that I'm thinking about it because he likes eating and he likes spinning around, and that's really what you do in this game, but still like it. It is junk food, though. Absolutely junk food. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that this game appeared on both the Comfort Food video and here on the Junk Food video. This is, of course, Crazy Taxi, one of my all-time favorite arcade games, one of my favorite Dreamcast experiences, and decidedly junk food. Like, it is all about adrenaline. It is all about go fast. It is all about just making your fare and then starting over and doing it all over again. You can choose your favorite driver. You can go any direction you want, but you know exactly what you need to do. You need to pick up your fare. You need to get them to their destination. You need to pick up your next fare and keep going and try to amass as much money as possible, all while listening to some incredible music, all while having a lot of fun with this incredible arcade action, and it just works. Like, this game, on paper, it shouldn't be as good as it is, but when you actually get in practice and you play it, whether you're in an arcade or you're on your Dreamcast, you are going to have an absolute blast playing it because it just works. It's a fantastic game. I was really reluctant to put this one on the list, but I think Conker's Bad Fur Day is junk food, and it's junk food because of how much it revels in the fact that it's raunchy, that it's R-rated, that it's a little bit wrong on so many levels. Like, it looks like a Nintendo game. It looks like something that Nintendo would have dreamt up with this just adorable mascot character, and instead it's R-rated, it's gross, it's disgusting, and it works. I mean, you have a cow singing about the screaming shits. You fight a giant talking poo. It is the lowest of low common denominators. Like, this is the very epitome of toilet humor. And it was actually between this one and Earthworm Jim going on this list for what I would consider, like, just the ultimate of, like, frat house humor kind of junk food. But at the end of the day, I went with a game I like more. I like Conker more than I like Earthworm Jim. And I know there's a lot of folks who like EWJ, and that's okay. I know Gary loves it. My friend Corey loves it. But Conker, I think, is a better junk food than Earthworm Jim is. Wii Sports makes the junk food list. And why is that? I call this junk food because the games are so bite-sized. Because this is, at its core, a collection of mini-games. And it did actually replace WarioWare on this list. WarioWare, also much like Crazy Taxi, was originally on my comfort food list. I didn't want to do that twice. I wanted to kind of have a collection of mini-games, a collection of games that were not necessarily fully featured, that were fun, but not necessarily deep. Like, Wii Sports is great. All of the games are fun, but none of them are what you would call a Game of the Year contender. But when you put them all together, you get something that is a really memorable title, the perfect pack-in game for really any console that just showed exactly what the system was capable of, what the controllers were capable of, and made something memorable for people to have immediately upon opening their new Wii system. It's a really fun game. All of the games work individually, but together they are, of course, better as the sum of their parts as opposed to individually. It's a really fun piece of snack cake that is just awesome. As if to prove that not every game on this list is going to be a game that's bad. In fact, I like all of the games that are featured in this video. This is Cruis'n Blast. This is nothing. This is a Snickers bar. It really satisfies when you play it, and that's all it sets out to do. It goes fast, it takes chances, you get to drive silly cars on memorable courses, there's aliens, there's dinosaurs running next to you. There's nothing in this game that makes a lick of sense. There's nothing in this game that does anything beyond just go fast, take chances, have fun. That's what the game sets out to do, and it achieves every single goal. It is just an absolute adrenaline rush from start to finish. It is arcade action captured in just pure, perfect home console port. It is one of my favorite Switch games. It is something that I have a blast with to this day. I loved it when it came out. I love it still to this day. It is just such a fun title. And just one of those games that just proves that you don't have to be super in-depth and have crazy physics engines or anything like that to have fun with a racing title. Sometimes you can just be goofy and go fast. This one's going to make some people mad too. But I'm specifically referring to the first instance of Animal Crossing as junk food, because I think the game has gotten progressively more involved, especially when you add online components to it. It becomes a bit more of a nuanced game and something where you actually are needing to do things in a particular way to actually make progress. But with the first Animal Crossing game, which is my personal favorite Animal Crossing game, it was pretty basic. It was pretty self-explanatory. It was pretty cut and dry. Like, you had your chores around town that you needed to take care of. There were certain things that you had to do in order to unlock different things in the game or to be able to kind of move your village forward, but it wasn't something that was complex or involved. It was just, pay Tom Nook your bells, move on with your life, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. I really liked the first one just based on the fact that it was set up in a grid system, so every time you moved, you went to a new screen. You were able to make sure that all the weeds were pulled, stuff like that. I thought that was just a more logical way to set the game up, and it made things more simple and more enjoyable for me. Video game junk food, your mileage may vary on this. These could be games that you think are just stellar, incredible, wonderful, amazing, just delectable full meals of fantasticness that you think are great. And that's okay. We're allowed to have differences of opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite video game junk food is. I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. I'd love to hear from you. If you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you stick around. And if you're curious about the one I talked about at the start of the show, where I was talking about video game comfort food, that link is up there right now. You can check that video out as well. Till next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.